where I started early in my career, I had a lot of great leaders. I wouldn't have had the career I did without great leaders. And by the way, they were all men because I never had the opportunity to work for a woman, while I was at TI. But I had some bad leaders too, some
So what do you do
early
in
in
that
my
case?
career. I had great teammates. And so what you do is you look around and figure out who can you trust. You look around and figure out who do you already feel some safety and some empathy with. And you create alliances outside of the room. So the Japanese have a wonderful word. And I think I was trying to remember who told me this. I think it might have been one of my Japanese TIers, because I used to travel back and forth to Japan a lot. It's called nemawashi, and it's literally about digging around the roots of a tree and preparing it before you transplant. But in effect, it's really about creating informal alliances outside of the room. And this was one of the keys to my success at TI, because I was almost always the only woman leader in the room. And that in a male system is a very competitive system. It's not a collaborative system. Women's systems typically are more collaborative. And so competing inside the room for the attention, for the resources, for the capital, for the approval, that's the normal way of behaving.
Right.
And so I was in a lot of those rooms, but I started doing nemawashi. So it was, for example, you said being spoken over. It's not uncommon for a woman to express a really brilliant idea and nobody hears it. And then, 5 minutes later, some other man at the table expresses the same room. And, oh, wow, it's the most brilliant thing that I ever heard. Early in my career, I had that happen. And so I was creating alliances with the people at the table. And I would ask them outside the room, take them to coffee or have lunch or whatever I did, and explain what I was experiencing. And honestly, they hadn't noticed because that wasn't something they were attuned to. And I would ask them, if you see that happen again, would you, or if I come with an idea and you think it's good, but nobody else even picks up on it, if you'll just say, hey, Shaunna, that sounds great. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? Or if that other thing happens, could you just say, oh, yeah, Shaunna just mentioned that 5 minutes ago. Right. So I started creating alliances outside of the room.